Welcome back with us as where one Spitfire falls, another stands up to the plate. Imperial Spitfire now on the chopping block against Keele Krakens, and even though Keele Krakens came into our Division 3 as the top seed, they've had a long way to go through here to get through the lower bracket and make sure that they make it into this finals. Imperial Spitfire coming in as the number 10 seed have made it all the way through, just about beating NCL Time to Die in that upper final, and then the lower final, Keele Krakens barely squeaking past them as well, both of them being 3-2, so both teams potentially could have gone down to NCL, and we could have been seeing them here as well, but no, we see Keele and Imperial being the two that are representing Division 3, and interesting to see a first seed in here, but not as the actual higher seed for the finals, considering that they came through the lower bracket.
Yeah, so definitely an interesting underdog story here as we take a look at the rosters here.
Yeah, we got Sudanese Man, Slice Gaming, Always Blue, Creeper, and Timmy Turner in for Imperial Spitfire. And for Keele Krakens, they've got Infest, Ripsy, Scars, Naomi, and Phoenix Flame. I believe that's Crispy, sorry.
Yeah, that is Crispy.
There we go. We have these two teams on the chopping block, and as you can already see behind those players' names, we are going first to Samoa. It was Imperial's pick over whether they wanted to pick the map first or whether they wanted to allow that through for Keele and take a hero ban first instead, but no, they decided to go to Samoa, and we also already have our hero bans in place as well.
Yeah, Orisa ban from the side of Imperial Spitfire, and Keele Krakens going for the Soge ban.
Yeah, not a surprise to see a Sojourn ban. Obviously, these two teams haven't found themselves up against each other in this finals, but potentially could have done in our Swiss phase. So everything on the cards, you won't see the hero bans there quite as much in terms of going for them and taking away what they know is going to be on the other side, but we'll see how that goes. Sojan's still very strong at the moment, even though Emre is, what's being favored in some consequences. But as we head into the volcano, things are heating up here in Division 3.
Yeah, I think we see that. Is that a Reinhardt from the side of Keele Krakens? Interesting. Okay. And,
Yeah, I see another Malga on the board though. And I feel like I already had one of them. We've got a second one coming through here, but I mean the Juno potential switch over to the Lucio, but no, they might keep this Timmy Turner. Niesman with that immediate TP over towards the Reaper now, but Infest is going to stick with the Symmetra, sorry. It's been a long day, everyone, but we're still going. As always, Blue gets the first pick of the Division 3 GAM finals. Immediately traded out, though, by Scars. Potentially overstaying his welcome, Always Blue, in that first fight. And without the tank presence there, it's going to be easy control of the objective for the Kraken.
Yeah, an interesting comment from the Krakens. You've seen it back in the day from a different kind of Spitfire. With the Symmetra Bastion Rhine, and definitely not traditional, but it seems to be working out in their favor.
Yeah, Crispy going down again for the second time to Always Blue on this Malga. They're able to engage here very easily onto the backline. Naomi down so low, but just about able to survive. Gonna be set alight by Always Blue, now chasing down those kills, but Naomi doing a good job to get away so far. Scars being shot in the back, and Timmy Turner's able to find the kill with the torpedoes. Crispy back in for them, and you can see that the point hasn't flipped there. And finally, with this Bastion in the play, they're going to take once more control of this forward objective.
Yeah, Keele certainly doing a very good job there of just using the speed boost and the TPs and just running away from the Mauga. It's something we saw previous teams struggle with in the last matchup, but yeah, being able to just kite the Mauga dive, TP on then with the Bastion and the sustain from the Rhine Hide seems to be working in their favor so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Bastion is going to burn down this Mauga as much as possible. And you can see there how much damage this Bastion's going to do to that character. Slice takes a slice out of Crispy, but the rest of the team falls down in turn. And you can see that it's already 3/4 of the way for Kill Krakens on this first objective.
Yeah, and many ults online here for the side of Keele. Not so coming a little bit behind for Imperial. So if they can go quite early here, we could be looking at an easy 100-0 for Keele.
Yeah, the Shatter not getting too much, though, from Scars, and especially when you don't have anything to stop you on the other side. Potentially a little bit of a misplay. Now you can see that aerial bombardment, and always goes down into the volcano. Maybe things are getting a bit too heated up for them. Gonna do for a listening as it could be Imperial taking it out.
I guess we did.
Well done, good round.
Good shot.
Well, Malcolm ended up underneath us.
I was the sacrificial
That guy
lamb.
actually just ran off the map. I don't know about that guy needs to be killed.
I mean, you could hear the confusion in there.
They're just as confused as we are.
Take out that first one, yeah. They're just as confused as we are, and immediately there's a pivot here from the Spitfire deciding to switch over to this Ramatra and this Baptiste, so a bit more sustain here, and they're going to try and fight the brawl by taking the brawl themselves.
Yeah, Ramatra obviously classic Rhine counter, definitely gonna have a lot more staying power against the Rhine. Is a fairly easy target though for someone like the Bastion to just beam down. Imperial Spitfire might be sticking on the Symmetra themselves though here. Does look like, oh no, looks like a switch over to the Tracer here.
Yeah, Sudanese man on the Tracer instead, so still gonna go and try and get forward. Scars already find Slice though. Slice of the pie is gone for Imperial Spitfire, and once again they're forced to back up. Creeper taken down in the backlines as well by Infest, and now they're thinking with portals. They get into the backline, and now they're just going to back away as Sudanese man falls to Crispy as well.
Yeah, when you have such a fast comp here with the Rhine pins and speed boost from Naomi and the TPs, it's gonna be difficult for Always Blue on the Ram to keep up with just the speed boost ring from Timmy Turner, but yeah, if Scars can go so early and keep getting these picks off before they can get anywhere, then it's great, but Imperial Spitfire, they really need to start pushing through here.
Yeah, look at how much has already been built to shatter here already. Crispy is going to be a lot of pressure to try and take down Sudi's man on this Pharaoh, and speaking of a lot of pressure onto him, Timmy Turner combining with Always Blue to take down the backline, and now with only Infest left, first control of an objective and starting to tick up on their side for Imperial Spitfire.
Yeah, this is definitely the momentum they need now to hold on. Ults-wise, though, they're looking a bit behind as the Shatter, the War will come online soon for Keele. So it's just going to be a waiting game now for the side of Imperial Spitfire.
Yeah, but the support ults feel like they're nowhere near, and they're immediately able to play with the prowess of this Pharaoh. It's a bit late on the Shatter as well. You're not going to be able to get anything out of this one, Scars. Tries to get the pin in, try and get something out of this. Does find Always Blue, but at the end of the day, that's the only thing you get.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it's all they need though for the side of Spitfire. The 40% and counting now on the point as Scars will start to push forward. Barrage as well gets nothing.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay there. The barrage invested, but Scars goes down eventually. Creeper from the top ropes with that amplification matrix able to take down the tank of the Krakens. And now you can see they're switching over to the Malga.
Terrible TP though from Slice Gaming does mean that they fall early, and this is the engage here now for Keele that you'll want as they use the ult here to push forward.
Yeah, Creeper not able to get away, but Phoenix Flame goes down. You can see that Ray invested as well. It's going to keep Always Blue up for a long time, but not enough for the rest of the team to come back, and it finally swings back in Kill Kraken's favor.
Yeah, the Orbital Ray there was an interesting one, because if you're already down about 2 or 3 picks at that point, a couple ults invested, you have the percentage advantage. You can just wait it out, and you would have been able to come back with the Orbital Ray now. Only really having the Annihilation here for this next fight.
Yeah, and it's difficult to engage with just that alone. Slice is building up towards this Death Blossom, but not on the cards just yet. Phoenix is able to invest a Kitsune Rush from this high ground as well, and indeed does so. But how long will they be able to stay alive, even with Crispy's perk not able to stay in the fight? Scars gets one onto Creeper, and they still do go with this. The beat invested by Naomi. They want to win it here if they can. Sudanese man goes down low, but able to get back around by the cover. Slice falls to Scars. And still, Scars doing absolutely everything for them. Shoots the Pharaoh out of the sky, and you can't block what's behind you. Infest gets the kill credit, but huge play for Scars. And now we're going to listen in with them as they try and take this map out.
Yeah, no.
Reaper's gonna look for TP.
I mean, Reaper's not in it, but that's fine. No. So they can't come across. I'm gonna go back from behind.
Nice.
We get it. Come on.
Good Naomi.
Nah, the game was already over by the time I booped.
Well, as you heard there, a bit by Naomi, make sure that Slice Gaming isn't able to touch. And at the end of the day, Keele Krakens get their first map on the board of what could be an interesting series to come. We saw them have to switch over to the Malga, but it looked like it was better in the hands of Scars than it was in the hands of the Spitfire.
Yeah, Scars certainly seeing the Malga saying, I'll beat you on Malga. This is what I can do, showing what they can do. And well, the cage fight right at the end there does go a bit wide, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And we'll see just some incredible performances from Scars and the rest of Keele throughout the first map here.
Well, even though it didn't trap Slice as they wanted to, the rest of the team just couldn't progress forwards, and that meant that maybe there was a bit of hesitation there from Slice, as we saw going down early to those fire strikes from Scars. They did force the switch out, and they did look better on the Ramatra, did Imperial Spitfire. Always Blue able to get in and find those kills for the Nemesis form, but at the end of the day, it goes back to Keele Krakens once more, and they take both objectives out for what was a fairly clean 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it on that last fight there, with the beat. As the Annihilation comes in for Always Blue, so many people, everyone on the side of Keele, all 1 HP, can't quite find a pick. Maybe get like 1 or 2 picks. And then you see the beat come in, Scar finds a pick. That's the engage then. Everyone on the side of Imperial Spitfire still low. Keele all full HP with that beat. And as much damage as the Annihilation can do, they just can't find the picks.
Yeah, it's going to be Imperial Spitfire picking from whatever they want now, and they are going to have the first hero ban as well off the back of this, but you can see that both teams want to play something fairly brawly. We'll see where they've decided to go to, as everything is on the table for them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Scars, if you're going for the... never mind, we'll go for Havana then, okay. Yeah, definitely shuts down the Reinhardt for Scars, which is sort of the point I was going to make.
I think that they're doubling down on it from what I can see as well. And I worry for them if they're panicking this quickly, going to Havana, which does shut down the Reinhardt. And from what we can see, they've taken Rein out of the picture as well with the ban as well. So... I mean, you don't have the Rein ban for later on in the fight, but the Ramatra felt like it was working. I don't know if you needed to ban the Reinhardt away. It felt like when they pivoted to the Malga, that was when you guys had the issues.
It doesn't matter because Roadhog is out of here now. No,
I mean,
I was so worried about
Get
Scars
this
on
guy
the
out of the
Roadhog,
game.
you know, yeah. It
Get
busted.
this guy out of
busted.
the game. I don't want to see a 700 HP character with a one-shot, but...
Really, yeah. Malga gets free reign, of course, now that... we'll have a look at some of the...
Better bans here.
Better,
no,
this is
no
improving,
rested.
okay. We can see the thought process coming through from both of these sides here, you know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Keele just avoid the ban. We'll
That's
get
that's a real ban, by the way, as from what I've seen.
Okay,
the
Baptiste is there. We go.
Here's
Here's our ban.
For actually not trolling us for once. Reinhardt and Baptiste banned on Havana, and that Baptiste was putting in a lot of work to make sure that the rest of the team on ICL was staying up. So
yeah,
not too much of a surprise to see this being the pick that's taken out, especially as you can't ban that Ramatra that the pivot looked pretty good on.
Honestly, the Rhine ban, I'm not too sure about. On a map like Havana, Ramatra is just favored, and you saw Scars favoring the Mauga in the latter half of that map anyway. So I'm not. It might have just been a bit of a waste on the Rhine, in my opinion. But yeah, the BAP it definitely was incredible from the side of Imperial Spitfire.
Yeah, I feel like they could have kept that in the back pocket onto a map that maybe the Reinhardt was a bit more suited for. You could see yourself playing into the Mauga once again, and they didn't really win too much when they were playing against Scars on that hero, so we should be heading in soon, but Havana is going to be a playground for those longer sightline DPS, and that's something we haven't really seen too much from either side. You know, we did see Sudanese Man on the Farah, but for the rest of the team, it's going to be switching on to something different probably from what we've just seen on Samoa.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Soj ban from the first map, so maybe we're looking at maybe a Soj coming into this. Obviously, Emre still amazing as ever in the current meta, so it'll definitely be interesting to see the sort of DPS picks coming out for this map.
Well, we won't have to wait much longer as we head over towards Havana and this brewery that takes up that second portion of the map. Two teams lying in wait. Keele Krakens looking to cement a lead and take a second map away from the Imperial Spitfire, but will they be able to fight back? And I think I saw a Domino.
I think
there.
I did as well, yeah.
It's a Sigma on the other side as well, so an interesting matchup between the two of them.
Yeah, certainly. I certainly like both of these tanks at the minute. They're quite strong pokes on a map like this. Great for just holding corners and spamming down the sight lines. It will just be interesting, though. It will just come up to Domino versus Sigma, which, oh, never mind. We'll see Scar switch over to the Ramatra here.
Yeah, I mean, the big question, really, for the Krakens is going to be, can you take down that space? The Ramatra is going to be...
Well, with Winston Sombra, maybe you can.
Winston Sombra. You can see the Hanzo on the high ground as well. Catalan trying to find a pick early, but no. Sent packing immediately. Arrow to the head, and you are gone. And Scar's down low as well. Has to try and get back to the rest of the team, but this Hanzo switch up from the Spitfire looking like it's a good pick to start off this one at least.
Yeah, I definitely like this Hanzo pick against the Widow now. Obviously switched over to the Bastion, but against the Winston as well, just spamming those Storm Arrows. We'll see the Zarya pick coming back over from Scars now, the two potentially come back.
Yeah, an immediate switch up, trying to get in onto that that Sigma. It's going to be difficult to make sure that this damage doesn't come through too much, but the Thorn in the side is gone. Infest goes down, and once more, this Hanzo looks absolutely decimating at the moment. The rest of the team's still trying to build up towards the objective, but in a 5v4, it's not going to be quite as easy. Catalan, though, in that form is going to take out Sudanese Man, but not before Naomi falls. And once again, deterred, I believe that is, it's just absolutely decimating the lobby. The question is, though, what can they do without Always Blue on that Sigma still there? As it looks like it's going to be first point given up, even off the back of this ridiculous Hanzo play.
Yeah, as much as Dota can find the picks that they need, if the Sigma isn't there to hold the point, Scars can just keep walking forward. The payload keeps walking forward, and 5 minutes on the clock here now, full kill.
Naomi may be getting a little bit too aggressive on that Lucio, but Always Blue with the hack, and I can tell you as someone who plays a fair amount of Sigma myself, I absolutely hate playing into a Sombra. The timing isn't quite there, but Deter being a deterrence at the moment for Keele Kraken, Scars goes down, and at the very least that's going to be a reset on the amount of energy that Zarya has. Still looking around in the backline for Infest, as that EMP is built up now, and that could be a huge boon for Keele Krakens coming into this next fight.
Yeah, I think that if you're Imperial as well, you're going to be so scared of that EMP. You're going to want to flux as soon as you can. That'll be your win condition, but the EMP just shutting that down does come early, though.
Yeah, but it's on the back of the flux. They're immediately able to stop it, and now they've got nothing to stop the grab. It's beautiful from Scars, and as they continue their snowball forward, Sudanese Man can't even find anything with a pulse bomb. No one left here, well, deterred left on the top of the brewery, but not going to last long, and that's going to be a massive stagger onto the Hanzo player, who really feels like has been doing the best for them as we head in and hear what Kill Krakens are
Yes!
saying.
Nice.
Nice, good shot.
Someone's looking this bottom left.
You don't get that, don't get
Nice,
that.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
Good.
Gracie, I'm going to speed you forward in 3, 2, 1.
Hanzo. I'm gonna stay on point, You guys walk forward.
He's
I'm going to reef.
Tag Hanzo.
Why is this taking...
Kiri dropped.
Link heal on you.
I need to swap.
Reef long, right, back right.
This Zarya's charge is just taking over at the moment. Interesting aim there from Scars. Trying
Yeah,
to...
they're definitely just trying to dodge the Hanzo.
Yeah, but the rest of the time, I mean, it feels like it's constant 100%, and you can't deal with that if you're always blue. And once again, Deter found in the backline by Infest with the virus.
Yeah, coming up with another grab as well now, as the Deter's already fallen down. The Kitsune comes out, but it doesn't matter as Scars just keeps barreling through the rest of the team.
I mean, you lose your backline so early in that fight. Always blue goes down as well. Naomi the only one close to falling on the other side. They did invest both support ults, but there's going to be nothing to stop this grab once again from Scars as it's now online. Not as much charge as previously in that last fight, but looking to build it up once again and immediately onto this Hanzo, analyzing the threats here. Catalan potentially going to go down off the back of the Captive Sun, and it's good trades out here from Imperial Spitfire as they look to lock down this fort and hold the castle as much as possible.
Gonna listen in here from Imperial Spitfire as they are approaching the last 2 fights.
Castle.
Wait, can we push that cast? He's kind of trolling, actually.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have to be.
He's
It's really hard for me.
Nice.
Somebody's TP. Okay, there's one bubble. Okay, they is far from the next beat or rush, but rush first.
I'm
I
just
think.
gonna set up behind them here.
I say my ult for the beat. Okay, they're gonna beat engage at some point. I think.
Sombra on me, she's not on you guys.
Okay, one bubble. You should look with the Sombra there. Is Sombra one of you?
Yeah, MB.
Number half. Nice.
Nice. No, huge dragon.
Look at that. Cuss in. Lucian one. I look at point now.
Yeah,
Good job there dealing with that EMP and engage, making sure that Scars couldn't find anything. And you can hear that little cat and mouse now that's happening between Always Blue and Naomi of who's going to pop which ultimate first. Usually you see a beat out for an Annihilation, but could be the other way around here for the Spitfire.
Yeah, certainly. So hear them so scared of that EMP, but it's the Annihilation now they've really got to worry about. If Naomi can get this beat online on time, looks like they can.
Yeah, they're going to try and go forwards with it. The scatter arrow is going wide at the moment. And now with the Malga here, it's going to be difficult for them to get away. They do decide to pop the Annihilation, and there is the beat in return. Cat and Mouse is over for the day, but Phoenix Flame is here with this Kitsune Rush as well. Creeper just about with it on the other side, but they're getting the kills that they need here. Are the Krakens. They're pushing forwards, and with Creeper out of the picture, this is going to be an uncontested Kitsune Rush as the rest of the team tries to stay there. It's technically a Hanzo Ajax as well. With the Kitsune, with the Captive Sun, could go big. They try and get back onto this objective, and it's actually gone huge. Timmy Turner saving the fight there for the moment. Always Blue's back in as well, and somehow the Kill Krakens are able to stay in it. With Catalan, it's huge, it's massive, but both teams fighting back and forth. Eventually, Catalan's going to be turned away. An Imperial Spitfire, somehow Timmy Turner flipping the odds in the opposite direction. I do not know how they were able to turn that back.
Such a scrappy fight from both sides there. Timmy Turner just genuinely keeping their team alive in the fight and in the match for as long as possible. Has incredible Captive Suns throughout the round here. But Catalan just struggling to keep the team in as well.
Yeah, and it means that there's now nothing left in the bank for the Kill Krakens. And where you thought that they were going to absolutely dominate this map, it's only a cage fight here that they've got online. They've already lost 2 players. Yes, they're able to take Timmy Turner down, but it's going to be difficult for Scars to win this one out entirely. Naomi's there to try and help out, but with the rest of the team flooding out from the spawn, of the Imperial Spitfire. Somehow they've managed to hold this castle for all of about 4 minutes. Always Blue still on there, still fighting. And as the rest of the team falls for the Kill Krakens and time runs out, it's a good hold for them at the end of the day.
We were looking at what might have been like a minute and a half on the clock here for Keele, but just...
But even more potential.
Yeah, it just goes to show how like one ult can change the entire momentum of the round. Keele Krakens now not even able to finish the round here, gets all the way to the end.
Yeah, and it looked like they were going to snowball through. I mean, they took the first 2 objectives so quickly, but Always Blue switching to make sure that that Ramatra is doing a lot more than that Sigma. And then the last gasp effort onto the Malga with the help of Timmy Turner, with that captive son. The clutch plays there from the Iari, and it means that Kill Krakens, even though they were knocking on the door, they don't quite burst through and take all 3 objectives.
Yeah, I mean, well, all the way to the castle door, though, still definitely impressive. That point on Havana, probably one of the hardest in the game, but it does mean now, though, there is a golden box of victory for Imperial Spitfire coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road for them to get there, but off the back of Always Blue, if they're able to push forwards, and especially if Deterred can find the form that they had off of the first few fights, I think it could potentially be in their favor.
Yeah, if they kept up the momentum that they had on that defense, if Deterred is able to keep getting those picks on the hands, though, then yeah, we could be easily looking at a 1-0 here.
Yeah, you can see double hit scan DPS as well for Kill Krakens, Infest and Catalan on that Sojourn and Ash combination. Naomi as well with, instead of going for the Lucio, going for the Wu Yang, and already an eat out as trying to push forwards is Always Blue. It's going to be difficult to maintain things. Got to make sure that that shield stays up. An accretion into the backline as well. Finds Creeper, but doesn't find the final kill. Now, that kinetic grasp used once more just to try and invest forwards. They managed to get round the corner here, and they're forcing them backwards well. They do have a bit more of a brawly comp than the other side, and it's going to be up to Sudanese Man to get into the backline as much as possible. Accretion for accretion, and Always Blue finds the first pick onto Infest, and where they've already got forward so far, they could be winning out this fight, and in one team fight, they could be taking this first objective.
Yeah, honestly, winning that accretion fight just allows Always Blue and Deter and the rest of Imperial Spitfire so much time to just barrel damage down. They force the Suzu out from Phoenix Flame, and it just means that they can just roll forward.
Yeah, it's another Suzu invested just to make sure that Infest can't go down to start off with, but 5 minutes off the clock going into the distillery. It's going to be exactly what the Doctor ordered for the Imperial Spitfire.
Yeah, but we didn't see too much different, though, from the side of Keele on there. Attack as Defer finds an early pick.
Yeah, invest those dragons as well, and off the back of that gravitic flux from Always Blue, they're able to turn it into more kills. Infest just about trying to stay alive, but it's not going to happen, and immediately you can see this switch to the more brawly playstyle is coming out from the Krakens.
Yeah, we saw Scardu do very well just running it down onto the tank last round, so hopefully we can see them pick it back up. Catalan as well on the... It means they can definitely just take a lot more fight to Always Blue, force out the grasp, and run forward here.
Yeah, they're not letting them having it all their own way. Sudanese Man has the pulse here, and an early pick onto Naomi once again. We're going to hear the Kill Krakens as they try and defend this second objective.
Lowry's on point.
Yeah, marking point, I kind of have to.
Wait, we can kill tank here. We can actually kill tank. Beam him, just beam him.
Carrot.
Carry that to you.
I got her, but...
I got 3. Yeah.
Carry one.
Carry's one.
Reese, can you get out? I can maybe touch on my ult.
No, I can't.
Wait, yeah, you can.
Okay, now, yeah. Actually, I can just sit. I can sit on point.
And you're half on...
This Hanzo needs to go.
You've used pulse, by the way.
Stern defense there from the Krakens. Having lost one early in the fight, they're able to turn it around, and even with the investment of that captive son, Timmy Turner not able to pull the heroics that they had last time on their defense.
Right at the end, though, this Hanzo needs to go. Very much been a nuisance on the side of Imperial Spitfire, and straight away finds the pick.
Phoenix Flame goes down early. They do have the ultimates to invest in here if they can stay alive. 2 headshots for Deferred on this fight alone. A third kill with the help of Timmy Turner. And now the Illari finds 3. Yes, they invested the Blizzard, but they weren't able to do anything else. And walking forwards onto point 2 with 4.5 minutes left of the Spitfire as they try and take a one all series line in this grand finals.
So at this point, I don't know who's the better DPS player, Timmy Turner or the Turd. Both have just been clutching up so much. Both the portals coming online now for Keele. I think looking to get a cheeky hack on maybe on this Flux here as well.
Yeah, but they know that the hack's not going to be there for this Flux now, and it means that they have to invest that Tidal Surge, just about able to keep Scars alive, but now with the Dragons as well, it's too much pressure, and Scars buckles under it. Turd once again finding a kill, and Timmy Turner, just the amount of damage and kill potential that this Illari's had so far has been really impactful.
Yeah, honestly, one of the most bloodthirsty supports I have seen in a long time, and we'll take a listen into Imperial Spitfire here as they're approaching the final point.
Yeah, they're gonna grow up, yeah.
That's high.
I'm just chilling.
Top left.
Let them use ults. That's good for us.
Umbrella.
Do one. Do still one.
Wait, it's actually one of them.
Nice. Yes, winnable.
Care grab.
There she is.
No bubbles.
I need to chill. I can't peek for now.
Cast no roll.
Cast actual floor.
No.
Cast one.
Kiri half. Okay, can we check?
Cast left. Cast one.
Tower, off height one.
Zo.
Nice. Push one.
Look up.
Don't get traded, and keep pushing.
I'm with you, Chosen.
On my left side.
They might have
Well, they've approached the final objective here, and it's getting closer. Catalan does have this high noon to get forwards, and Sunni's man maybe just not checking behind him is going to be paying the price for it. Catalan finds Always Blue as well, and it feels like the heroics from last map being flipped on its head. They put in the Kitsune Rush here. Somehow it's 1v1 versus Deterred versus Scars, and Naomi filling out the gaps there, just about able to stick here, but 2.5 minutes, it's going to be difficult for them to stick in their ground here.
Yeah, that invest there using the MP is definitely not what you want to see, as well as the Flux can just come through for free now.
Oh, Scars though sounds so low, they're just about able to stay alive, but the hack doesn't come through onto Always Blue to stop that kinetic grasp. The rest of the team's still alive at the moment. A hack again onto Always Blue, but they're going to use the Dragons here to try and zone them off the point and push forwards now. Naomi goes down solo, and here is that Captive Sun that was so impactful last time the point was at this place. Just about staying alive. It's a huge grab here for Scars, but at the end of the day, what can you do? The team kill bell rings out, and Imperial Spitfire, after seeming like they were down and out on their defensive side, they're able to hold firm, flip the map on its head, and off the back of some amazing DPS play from not just their DPS, but from their Illari as well, they get the map turned in their favor, and they tie us up 1-1.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, an incredible performance on the attack. You like you said, you saw they were struggling a bit on their defense. You know, pushing 5 minutes on the clock after the first one, barreled through the second point, and then just narrowly managing to keep the defense on the castle. You see a completely different match on the second half there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it means so much to them that they're able to hold firm. You know, in a close map like this, you wonder if you were able to take this out for Kill Krakens, maybe you keep the momentum and get onto the full series 4-0. But the momentum flips back to Imperial Spitfire in the map off of the back of their defense, and then they're able to hold it forwards. And it took them a little bit of time on the final objective, as we saw the same happen to Kill Krakens, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that were able to get over the line, and Kill weren't.
Yeah, I think it was such a confident win as well. That's what you need in a series like this. If you just barely scrape the win, match it up 1-1, you're like, okay, great, we're still in this. But it was such a convincing win from Imperial that now you're like, okay, let's get the ball rolling, let's do this 4-1.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that maybe we're going to a bit of a closer quarters map, and potentially we're not going to see a Hanzo on this next one. And you could tell how frustrated they were when we listened into the Keele Krakens with that Hanzo. But we're going to be going to a quick break, and we'll have maps 3 of this series with you in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back with us here for the Division 3 Grand Finals of the USS Spring Split 2026, where we left you with Imperial Spitfire tying this series up 1-1 on Havana. And with how they've been playing so far, it's not a surprise to see the Keele Krakens decide to go somewhere that's a bit closer quarters.
Yeah, I believe they are taking Saravasa here. Definitely a lot better for them fighting in these smaller points here, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see them maybe shut down the Hanzo here as well.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they've banned as well in just a second. Should be all ready for us to go. And it is the Tracer that was banned. So instead of Deferred's Hanzo, it's Sudanese Man's Tracer is taken off the board for the Spitfire. And Lucio back again. And it feels really weird knowing that we're going to see 2 maps of Suravasa today and not a single Lucio being played.
Yeah, I think this plays heavily in favor of Imperial, though, right? Keele Kraken's Naomi has done an incredible job on this Lucio so far, and I think shutting her down is the key play here.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's fine, we'll get some Lucio going.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's the thing that hasn't been mirrored on the support line. You've seen that Iari from Timmy Turner on the last map, but even on Samoa, they weren't mirroring it. They were playing with the Juno. So taking that off the board on a map that's so heavily dependent on speed control is going to be difficult for Keele Krakens to step back up with.
Yeah, certainly. I think looking into this, you still have the Hanzo available, you still have the Alari available, and you shut down the speed of Keele. Things are looking good here for Imperial.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely be happy with this ban phase, especially as they only got to pick last. You know, going to Suravasa, it's fine, I guess. Both teams kind of wanting to play the brawl as we head over to India once again, but it's difficult to see where Keele wins here. The potential is there absolutely, and it will be interesting to see where they decide to go in terms of tanks. As I mean, I assume that potentially Scars is going to be on the Malga, and the same could be said for the other side as well, as we're just about to see it there. Yeah, always blue there, but they've gone for the Orisa instead, something we haven't seen so far from Keele.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this, to be honest. I think I would prefer to see Scars on the Malga as well. We saw them do quite well with the Malga on Samoa starting out, but maybe they know something I don't. So we'll see how Scars fares on the Orisa here.
Brig Kiri as well is going to be an interesting one to see. Infest going straight back over, and they've sub-Slice Gaming back in for this more close quarters map, trying to play this Reaper a little bit more. But Scars already being set alight by Always Blue, just trying to gain some momentum, but a good boop in is going to mean that Always Blue was stuck in the middle of the point, but Catalan caught off guard by Slice Gaming getting forwards on that Reaper, and with this first pick for them, it's going to be a first point control for Imperial.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the focus here for both teams is just going to be this Malga vs Orisa, and it just allows the Pharah, the Reaper, to just take the flanks and find the picks they need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a bit of a kaiju battle, but the thing is, when you've got no one else around you, there's so much investment into the Malga from Keele to try and get it down that no one's looking out for these flankers. Sudanese Man and Slice Gaming are able to play way out on their own, and they're getting these picks early.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, 50% and counting now for Imperial Spitfire. About 50% on all of, even on both sides. So it'll just be a continuous case of if the Pharah, if the Reaper can just get these picks when nobody's watching.
Well, that's a good first pick, though, for Keele, and now that they can come forwards with that Juno gone, they do have to invest the Suzu to make sure that Scar stays up, but it's been a long time since damage has touched that Orisa. They do go back in though, and that big overrun is there for Always Blue. Eventually though, gonna have to turn tail and head back towards the spawn doors. Gonna be a quick recontest though, I think, as there's more ults on the board for Keele Krakens than there are for Imperial.
Yeah, they get the flip as well here, and it'll be a really quick recontest. Scars does fall early though.
They lose Scars. They lose Scars so early. Naomi switched over to the Zenyatta. I'm not sure about that. Maybe trying to get a Discord Orb onto Always Blue, but even though they came in with no ults, they win out that fight just by taking out Scars. It's going to be difficult for them to get the second point, but they're not going to worry about that for now as they win out first.
Yeah, moving to this next point as well. You have 4 ults online for Keele, but lots of ults coming online for Imperial, so it'll just be a case, I guess, of who can get to the point first, get set up. We do see the fire falling quite low here, though.
Yeah, able to get back to the rest of the team, and it's a decent EMP as well from Infest, but Always Blue takes down Naomi. Slice Gaming finds a second. Sudanese man has found the end of his own rocket, but it's going to be Catalan and Invest left as the last 2 standing, and somehow, even with the ult deficit, they're going to win out the fight.
Yeah,
and
I mean...
Scars onto the Mauga as well.
Okay, yeah, I'm liking this Mauga pick though, but yeah, 3 ults used for Keele here. They have nothing now, and I only swapped over to the Juno as well. Only the Kitsune online versus a Cage, Orbital Ray, maybe even a Death Blossom coming up. And we'll get a listen in here for Imperial Spitfire on this next fight.
Point. When they come point, I cage, okay?
Yeah.
Someone's on Fury.
Yeah, okay.
Cage.
Okay, nice.
Maga.
Just look at Mauga.
Here.
Maga now.
Kill.
Look at Cass.
How much?
Did they get traded?
Nice.
Nice.
Very, very clean and clear comms there. Maybe he didn't need the Ray, but at the end of the day, they're the only ones with an ult on the board, and the longer this map goes on, it feels like the closer the Keele Krakens are to getting onto the comp that Imperial have been doing anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think in Fast now you see switching over to the Reaper. They engage with the EMP early, and amazing ability from Imperial Spitfire to just live through that.
Yeah, but Scars is able to survive the Death Blossom right in his face. Rest of the team trying to pick up on some kills off the back of it. Sudanese man finds one, but as soon as he turns around, he sees that the rest of the team has gone down behind him. And despite coming in with no ultimates to their name, they are able to win out, but not without the cost of both supports. So it could be a quick recontest here for Imperial.
Yeah, we do look at the Cage coming online sooner, though. Catalan has the High Noon, so if they could take an earlier fight here, they can definitely get a lot more point progress before anything comes online for Imperial.
Yeah, that Cage with nowhere to turn away from that High Noon could be devastating, but it's going to take a couple of ifs and buts, and it's going to take Catalan staying on the board, goes down before anything else can happen. Always Blue taking them down as well. A last gasp for Scars trying to get onto the backline, but Sudanese man is wrecking havoc to the rest of the team, and once again, they allow Keele Krakens to have a taste of the point. You know, you can have a nice bit of percentage, but no, we're going to take it back before the end. We're going to win out the fight and win out this second objective. There's going to need to be a reverse sweep for Keele Krakens if they stay alive on Surreversa.
Yeah, give an inch, take a mile. It's definitely the point when you have such high percentage and the enemy doesn't. It's alright to give a couple, and I think we definitely saw in that last fight the enemy. Oh, we'll get a listen in here for Keele here as well on this fight.
That's Caesar up.
I got fucking from that.
Bully Maga.
Nice.
You win that. Take point. You're on the Reaper. I'm going Zarya.
Fucking.
A costly fight, but one that they did win out in the end, and you can hear Scars switching over to that Zarya as well. And we'll see how that goes for them, but with 3 ultimates coming back in and nothing yet on the board for Keele Krakens, this could be difficult for them to stake their claim on this point.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I think I like the Zarya from Sky here, because I think during the Mauga battle, it's the same thing we saw on some of the other points. You're too focused on that tank duel that it means that your backline just gets shredded by the DPS. I think a Zarya does a lot better job here.
Yeah, but I mean, the backline, the supports are slaying the team of Keele Krakens, they go down to the combination of Timmy Turner and Creeper, and they only have to use one ultimate for it. Scars goes down in the end, and that's a big stagger onto the tank. The Keele Krakens only coming back in with a Kitsune rush of their own. It's going to be difficult to fight through this.
Yeah, Timmy Turner just does not care. Zaya, Mauga, Orisa, it doesn't matter. I'm killing everyone. I'm on Juno, I'm on Alari. Doesn't matter. 35% and counting here for Imperial. 3 ults on the board as well to just the Kitsune from Keele.
Yeah, it's so helpful if your supports can secure those kills like we saw in that last fight. And here comes the Orbital Ray as well. Slice Gaming's able to find the first. And with that Death Blossom, the Spiral of Doom comes out for the Krakens. They are potentially going to get one more touch in, but they're going to need to get everything here. And you can see how far forwards Imperial's going to hold.
Oh yeah, they're going to look to take as early the fight as possible, make sure no one holds. They don't have the cage fight, but we'll get a listen in for Imperial and what could be the last fight here.
Juno.
Where are those? No bubbles, no bubbles.
Carry no TP.
Carry no TP.
I'm a point.
Hero
Kill one,
Maga.
Fire off, fire off.
Yeah.
Live.
No, there's so much poke. Okay, it's okay. We have to probably.
A desperation grab there from Scars, but it's exactly what was needed. Sudanese man caught up in it, and the map means the Blade doesn't get anything. They just about stay alive. As it ticks over to 80%, now they're the ones that are facing losing a point for the first time.
Yeah, 90% and counting. It does look like Imperial Spitfire are going to go for the touch here. They have the cage coming up nearly here as well.
Oh, Creeper goes down solo, and eventually, you know, that TP doesn't cleanse you anymore. And at the end of the day, you do go down to that virus. Scars gets always blue as well. And it looks like this is going to be the first point that goes in the favor of Keele Krakens. And if it's anything like the last map, you know, you dig your heels and you get one, you might be able to take the whole lot. So they're going to try and press forwards with this and try and take this momentum and look forwards for this reverse sweep.
Yeah, certainly. I think they may end up finding themselves a lot more comfortable now that they've found a con that suits them. They got the EMP online, Orbital Ray coming up as well, and the barrage. So as they're looking to take a very early fight here.
Yeah, this cage fight could mean a lot as they're looking to find someone out of the area, but Naomi found early by Always Blue, and Slice is able to get a 1-for-1 trade for the tank player as well. Infest stuck in that cage. The Sombra not able to get into invisibility and get out of the way. Sudanese man has to back up, but at the end of the day, it's point control for Imperial Spitfire.
Yeah, the early engage there from Imperial Spitfire means that stuff like the EMP has to come out early, and they can just go second and win the fight.
Oh, they put everything into that as well. Catalan investing that barrage even after the fight was lost. They put the grab in potentially to try and save it, but surely that was a bit late for the barrage there.
Definitely, yeah. That must have been some kind of last-ditch attempt. There may be a miscommunication, but yeah, you got the copy online, the orbital ray for both sides now. If you're Keele Krakens, you gotta start pulling something together as the map is on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ray invested early, and Naomi gets hers out as well, but goes down for it. And at the end of the day, you don't have the sustain to fight against the other team, especially when you've got a copied Zarya on the other side. Not even worth putting the grab in. Try and find something, yeah, why not? Just throw it out, why not? For the fun of it. But the rest of the team getting back towards it now. Keele Krakens, it's last gasp situations and desperation stations for them.
Yeah, final. Timmy Turner does fall earlier. This means that they can probably get a touch on the go.
Yeah, they go in early. The speed ring from Naomi means that they're able to press forwards quicker. And Infest finding a second in this fight. They found the first onto Timmy Turner in the spawn, but the rest of the fight is going to be careful. It's trades out left, right, and center, but Slice Gaming thinks the better of it. And with Timmy Turner, they're going to be turning tail and heading back towards their own spawn.
Yeah, orbital ray there used from both sides does mean and the Kitsune from Phoenix Flame means that Creeper does have free reign here for the Kitsune. EMP available for Impact Fest though. As long as they can survive this, they should be able to just regroup and win the fight.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush invested early by Creeper, and they look to press forwards off the back of it, but it falls right into the clutches of Infest. But Sudanese man's found Catalan on the first, and this is going to pave the way for this Pharah to not be shot out of the sky. Timmy Turner, though, hacked out of the sky, but the rest of the team has fallen in the time that it's taken Infest to find that hack, trying to touch, but Sudanese man with that perk is going to put the final exclamation point on it. An Imperial Spitfire, after losing the first map, turn it back into their favor, and now they're in control.
Yeah, incredible performance there from Imperial Spitfire. You saw glimpses of hope from people like Infest here on the side of Keele Krakens, but ultimately the map was just in Imperial's hands for the majority of the time there. If you're Keele Krakens, you're 2-1, you're down now. Where do you go from here?
I'm not sure. I think you've already tried playing close, but you've tried playing close against the Malga, and we saw how that just didn't work. They're playing the Kaiju battle, and at the end of the day, it's not working out for them. And I mean, the question is, do you go somewhere close again? Because you can see that they want to play this Brawl/Rust style, but it's not working into the Malga, so they have to find something else. The only different thing that they can do is they can take this Malga off of the board going into the next map, and if I was in their shoes, I think that's what I'd do. I'd stick to a close quarters map, but I'd be taking that Malga away from Always Blue.
Yeah, that's certainly like probably their best option. You could argue though that like you saw how well they did on Havana, for example, playing into the with the Sig comp. You never know. They like maybe not as much as they want to play close and play fast. Playing a slower poke comp might just be in it for them.
Yeah, and that question's going to be answered soon by them as well, as they do have the map pick up next, and they've already chosen to go to King's Row, and as we said earlier, it's very much a map that's suited to that rush/brawl playstyle that we've seen them play so far this grand finals.
Yeah, definitely. I would argue that I don't think it's impossible. You could still maybe run something like the Sig comp on this, but the Malga is definitely like a stronger comp here. I think maybe both teams still think that the Malga is like their best bet though. Because, you know, it worked great for Imperial Spitfire, but on the side of Keele, you saw Scar play really well with the Malga on Samoa. Do you think that maybe they just keep on the Malga, even though it's shown to not really be their best bet?
For me, I think you need some momentum back in your favor, and I think you take the Malga off the board, and I believe we've got both our bans in as well, so we should be finding out in just a second what they've decided to do. And yes, it is the Malga off of the table, and Symmetra taken away by the Spitfire suggests potential for at least a shield-based comp, maybe even a Reinhardt, and we very much could get a honorable Ryan duel for at least part of this match.
I'm not so sure, to be honest. I mean, you saw Keele on Samoa. They really like the Rhine, Sim, Bastion. You take the Sim out of the board, the Rhine has so much less momentum, and I guess we'll never see any Rhine at all then.
Yeah, unfortunately, Reinhardt not going to be there, not taking the trip to London, but
But it does, yeah, it does mean like, yeah, Keele, they really loved playing. They did really well as well with the Rhine Sim Bastion. So shutting that Sim off the bat, it just makes it so much harder to play the Rhine, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Looking back, I think that's a very good answer for what they think is going to come out of the Keele Krakens. Obviously, they have the potential to play several different roles. You know, you have the ability to play that Sig if you do want to, but taking Symmetra off the board means that you're not going to be able to see those TP plays of that old, not Imperial Spitfire, but in London Spitfire. That old composition is going to be off the board for them, but I mean, you could still see them play the Mei, and that's something that we saw work in that old comp quite a while back. But as we see a Ramatra heading out of spawn, and a Hanzo as well. I assume that is Imperial.
Yeah, I mean, the Ryan is also still possible, realistically. You know, it's you don't have to play around with him. Yeah, you could get Infest here on the May, as you said. Could go a lot slower. Lucio's back on the table now after being banned last map, so it's not out of the cards yet. And we've seen Scar bait us with the Domina in previous maps, so it's not all to be believed. But yeah, always blue. I think best bet, stick on this Ramatra first.
Yeah, but you can see Deter back on that Hanzo that's been a thorn in their side so far, and there's going to be so much damage coming out from Creeper and Timmy Turner on the support line as well that I'm not sure whether Kill Krakens are going to be ready for this. They push forwards immediately, Scar's going round that statue already and trying to get that crystal into a good position. It's already forced the Nemesis form from Always Blue, but able to get a kill off the back of it. It's a great wall, though. Incredible wall by Infest, and now that they can capitalize off of it, with no tank presence, they're going to start capturing the objective.
Yeah, incredible wall there from Infest, especially if they're on that back foot. Yeah, as you said, Deter back in the lineup on that.
Ooh.
I was going to say Timmy Turner as well on the Alari, but gets shut down amazingly. And that'll be the point here for Kill Krakens.
Yeah, you can see Sudanese man's gone back onto the Tracer that we saw ban last map as well, but gonna be forced back around the corner and onto the streets phase immediately. And I mean, if they can play off of walls like they did on that first fight, the sky's the limit for them at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. If they just keep this forward momentum, they just keep holding close, don't give the Hanzo and the Alari room to set up, and as long as you just keep with the rotating between Dominus Shield and May's Wall, then you should be in a pretty good position to just keep holding and holding.
Yeah, well, they don't have either of those cooldowns going into this fight now. The wall invested, didn't quite find what they wanted, so taken down early. Infest does have this Blizzard, though, coming into this fight, and with Always Blue walled off, it's going to be a difficult situation. They decide to go early. They decide to go with this Dragon through that amplification matrix, and it works out to the betterment for them. Crispy goes down, but the rest of the team's stuck in this Blizzard, and Infest is walking forwards on them. Maybe a bit of a far wall, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Maybe take out that turret, but no, they decide to just take out Creeper in the end anyway. That turret goes down in the end, and so does Sudanese man, and this momentum keeps on rolling for the Kill Krakens.
Yeah, such a simple play for Infest there. Oh, we'll use the Dragon, we'll use the window. Oh, we've got a pick, go, go, go. Such a short, like, such a confined space. Easily just chucks a Blizzard in there and wins the fight.
Yeah, now with the Panopticon as well. Getting one onto Always Blue, and I believe one behind as well, but at the end of the day, not going to find anything from it. Another wall gets Always Blue away and tries to touch with the Annihilation. Eventually is going to just about not find Naomi. And now with this Captive Sun as well, they're trying to fight forwards. Naomi's able to get the beat out, but not in time to save Crispy. Timmy Turner dies in the process of putting in that Captive Sun, though. The rest of the team's still there, and perhaps maybe a little bit of a disconnect, but back on is Always Blue, still trying to find the damage. And once again, a second Blizzard for Infest. This is ridiculous. They aren't able to find the kill off the back of it, though. Really good lamp from Creeper, and the sustainability that this backline has as well is able to keep them alive and send them packing. And Infest is going to be put in a box.
Yeah, honestly, the staying power there that Always Blue had on the Ramatra, just rotating between the Brawl Form and the Shield, it gave Timmy Turner the time to build the Captive Sun and push forward. And it allowed just the rest of Keele to just burn through ults, and the whole time the Ramatra just isn't dying.
Yeah, overclock on the table for Crispy, but that Dragon's already going to find Naomi, and they force forwards once again. The barrage as well, both DPS ults invested, but they both find big picks, and they're going to be force packing once again, Keele. Scars finds Always Blue, though, so don't count them out of this fight just yet. Phoenix Flame going down so low, and eventually they are just backed into a corner in this alleyway. Sudanese man looking to find a kill onto Scars eventually does go down. Same with Naomi, not after finding a pick onto Deter, but they're going to deter the side of Kill Krakens once again.
They've done a really good hold so far. 2 minutes now on the clock for Keele. And yeah, Imperial Spitfire, they've seemed to have found their stride now. They've bunkered down, they've stopped the really fast momentum that Keele had, and it looks like they're coming into this with both support dogs looking forward.
Yeah, forgive me, Legolas. Does this feel like deja vu as the Panopticon misses and they fight forwards once again, but Creeper goes down early to Crispy in that turret form. Don't have it on board for the rest of the fight, but the Turd now looking to get them out of this corner that they're backed into. Trying to get back away, but no way to get away from Infest. And even with the Annihilation on the point, they're trying to stick with it. They're trying to get back into this fight, but Sudanese man goes down, and surely it's not going to be long before Always Blue follows.
Yeah, I think you are getting a whiff of some deja vu there. It's very similar to how we saw things on Havana. It looks like Imperial now they've found their footing. They've got Timmy Turner with the captive son ready to do. We expect big things from this moving forward.
Yeah, but this blizzard could be massive as well, especially if they're able to knock Always Blue back into it. And Timmy Turner, that captive son, doesn't even find a singular kill. It's going to be a difficult time for Infest getting out of there, but get out of there he does. And now they're hunting down Creeper and Deterred, trying to get these picks off and maybe start their push on Underworld with a bit of a start, but Scar's over-investing here. Phoenix Flame, having popped that Kitsune Rush, not able to keep the tank alive.
Yeah, Scar falling early there stops any momentum that they would have had. We could be looking at like a final fight here, but they have to go all the way back to spawn now. The window from Creeper here could be even more time burning for them.
Yeah, Barrage in play as well, but the orbital bombardment is there from Crispy. The rest of the team falling around him though as they go into that artillery form. Just not able to find the kills off of the back of the damage, and Crispy's going to fall once more. Sudanese man now taking the high ground, and this could be dangerous with a barrage in play.
Yeah, I think though it could be quite easily shut down though, like especially if you're in these close quarters. Just a quick push from Scar could do enough, but yeah, this could certainly be make or break for this fight.
Depends, are they able to be aware of it? It takes down one, Crispy falls, but that's all they're going to get. It does also force that Suzu out, and now this means that they can press the go button. Scar's trying to back away immediately, but no, Sudanese man still there. Takes down the tank on the retreat, and now they try and find Naomi as well. The Lucio caught off guard. Timmy Turner's the one to find the kill, and Scars eventually is going to be forced to switch with less than a minute on the clock.
Yeah, an incredible barrage there. They had no idea. It meant that guards on the Domino walked forward. Didn't even know that the entire team was being barraged.
They have to be careful. They don't lose their Orisa. Has to invest everything just to stay alive. So no cooldowns there for the tank in play at the moment. Sudanese man is going to be forced back off. So 5v4 at the moment. The Blizzard invested as well. And this is going to cut off Always Blue. But Sudanese man, you forget about him, and he does this once again, just striking from the backlines, and they really just can't forget about this Sparrow. And as the time's running out, it feels like they're not going to get anything else here on their third objective. They did well to get there in the end, as they were forced just about to the time bank, but that third objective did not go anywhere, and it's a good hold from Imperial Spitfire on what should be their home ground as one of the London teams.
Sudanese man there, an incredible performance on the Pharaoh, just poking in the damage, and nobody's looking, right? So, like, Scar will just every now and then put a little bit of damage in and then go take the fight. Naomi gets baited out and goes, I'm not going to deal with that, someone else can do it. It just means that Keele run forward and Sudanese man can just barrel down on the backline, and nobody does anything, and by the time they even notice, half of Keele are either low or dead.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you go and check for him once, and he goes back round the corner, and then it's like...
There's no object permanence.
Yeah, exactly. Crispy's going 7-7. That's a difficult situation for the DPS, but 17-3 from Sudanese man, and you can't say anything to knock Always Blue as well, standing tall on that Ramatra and making sure that the rest of the team don't fall alongside him.
Yeah, the Ramatra's done a really good job at just staying alive and just taking all the pressure from Scars and from everyone else, and just it allows Sudanese man to just 17-3.
Well, as they get back into this one, Scarce decides to go onto the Orisa, and it might be a bit more difficult for Sudanese man to set up in the backlines on this Pharah than it was on their defensive side. Now looking to get an advantage, but you can see the M-Ray out from Keele, and maybe doing a little bit more damage here with the grenades as well, forcing the rest of the team back, and just about able to escape the hotel of horrors there is Always Blue, but finds the first pick onto the high ground, and now they're able to take that momentum forwards. That Nemesis form cleaving through Keele, and no one left standing. An immediate team kill. They're going to take the first objective with relative ease.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing momentum for Imperial Spitfire moving forward. Now Sudanese man trying to get them into their spawn, get a couple picks. Almost 6 minutes on the clock now for Imperial. Not much else on either side as well, because there was just no time to build any.
Yeah, they've switched over to the double hit scan here once again. Infest switching off of that May, so deciding that the walls weren't enough to keep the Imperial Spitfire at bay, and now they've just got to hold this corner. Scar switching over as well onto the Ramatra, deciding to mirror the composition, at least tank-wise. Looking to get forwards now, but down so low already. That Nemesis form popped just to stay alive. The rest of the team is able to stabilize it for now, but the Turd able to find Infest once again, and it's the first pick that goes in the favor of Imperial Spitfire, and this could be absolute dominance on King's Row. This team from London, they know these streets. Even if they're in or out of game, even if they've changed in the time that Overwatch is taking place, it doesn't matter. They can take them with dominance, and they look to force forwards. 4.5 minutes on the clock left, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, Scar's just taking so much damage so early on there just means that Imperial Spitfire can take the momentum they already have and just keep barreling forward. Almost 5 ults online now for Imperial. It doesn't look like anyone's gonna touch as they get the second point with ease. 6 minutes on the clock.
5.5 minutes to get 24 meters. We'll go into Imperial Spitfire and hear what they have to say about it.
Nice.
Ramp up.
Nice.
Get through on car.
Yeah, you win.
5.5 minutes? 5.5 minutes, guys? 5.5 minutes?
Absolute dominance there from the Imperial Spitfire on their attacking side, and their defense wasn't too bad either, able to stop the Keele Krakens in their tracks as they headed into the underworld. And as you heard from them, 5.5 minutes on the clock. It's a ridiculous snowball that they were able to find, even with Infest on this May on their attacking side.
Yeah, certainly. They sound about excited about it as we were. 5.5 minutes? It's incredible. This is not the same stuff that we were seeing in the previous match.
Yeah, and they proved that you don't need the Mauga to be able to play and win. That Ramatra looked really good from Always Blue, and despite going down early to this May wall, the rest of the time felt like they were at least somewhat in control. This felt like the final fight, really, that Keele Krakens won, apart from just about getting to the objective line. But Sudanese man, the amount of damage from the Pharah, just monumental. And you could see that the momentum that they were able to gain on their defensive side carried over onto their attack, and they showed no signs of stopping once they started on their attacking side.
Yeah, it just goes to show as well how strong every player on Imperial Spitfire is. You know, you saw Havana being terrorized by the Turd on the Hanzo. Across all the maps, the Ramatra has done an amazing job, and now Sudanese man on the Pharah they're just not shutting him down at all.
Yeah. I mean, you can't keep that level of object permanence against someone like Sudanese man on that Pharah, because he's going to punish you, and that's exactly what he did. Multiple different situations. I mean, we said about the barrage finding the initial first kill, but from there, they just didn't turf him out from where he was. The rest of the team just sort of let him play in that situation, and you can't do that and expect to win against a Pharah that's hitting shots like that.
Yeah, it is just they're just skipping steps. They're pushing forward in their fight plan. It's not that. It's not a bad idea to just send one guy off. You just send off, like, a Tracer, just do a little tickle damage, maybe. We saw Naomi try it once or twice, but not really get too much pressure onto Sudanese Man, and if you're not shutting down Sudanese Man, we could be looking at a 4-1 here.
Yeah, and the last map that Keele's going to be able to take is going to have to be a push map. The only thing left in the pool, and Runa Sappy is the play over Esperanza. You can see now everything back on the board. If Imperial Spitfire don't close it out here, they have every single thing at their hands. But Keele also with the first hero ban, and I've already seen it, and it's not too much of a surprise given how this match has gone so far.
Yeah, I mean, well, I won't spoil it just yet, but if you're looking on the side of Keele, they do have the Mauga back online now. We've seen Mauga not do too terrible on push maps. Are we going to see maybe a bit of a resurgence from them?
I feel like they have to do it off the back of the Mauga. It needs to be what they play, and potentially, I mean, Imperial, you feel so good about playing that Ramatra, and I feel like they're in the better situation on that Ramatra. Maybe you just ban the Mauga yourself. Maybe you take it out of the pool. You know that it's not something that Scars can lean back on in the situation that they have to go back onto it. You force them away from it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Mauga ban here from the Spitfire, despite Keele deciding to go with a Mauga ban on the other side.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a jetpack cat ban on both sides, though. Making sure no cats at all in USS Grand Finals for us today.
Yeah, they've been taken off the streets and rehomed to a good cause, I assure you of that. But the bans, the actual bans have come through, and it's going to be a Kiriko ban from the Spitfire, and the Krakens decide to go with that Hanzo ban. And considering how well Creeper was playing, well, Creeper and Timmy Turner were playing on that Iari Baptiste backline, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using this ban to force Keele onto something similar where they feel like they have the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. The carry ban does nothing to Imperial, and we've seen Phoenix Flame quite comfortably on the carry across this almost every map now. Hanzo ban, of course, we heard it in the comms about how annoying this Hanzo can be on the side of Imperial Spitfire, so there's a chance here for Keele. The Hanzo's down. Of course, you still have to deal with Sudanese Man, and you still have to deal with the Ramatra potentially, but yeah, I think the Hanzo's definitely the right play.
Yeah, and I think that sees probably Slice coming back in for deferred. I'm not going to say Hanzo one trick, but it's the only thing that we've seen in the final so far, so not sure about the flexibility, but it means that... Yeah, exactly. You can prove us wrong, or you can switch back to it, and that's not a problem either way. It feels like whatever lineup they go with, they're in the ascendancy so far, and you can see that they've got 3 map picks, or 3 maps in a row after losing Samoa out to the Keele Krakens. They've come back with a vengeance and taken the next 3 maps in a row to set themselves on match point.
Yeah, Saravasa and King's Row as well, both Keele's map pick, and it just shows it doesn't matter for them. The sort of loser's advantage that you get of picking the map doesn't phase them at all.
Yeah, and being penned into having to pick one of the push maps as well as your final map pick of this series. Of course, still 2 in the back pocket for ICL if they don't get it on this one, but all the cards had to be put out by the Krakens, and they decided to take the Hanzo off the board, and you could hear on Havana how annoyed they were. But once again, going back to Havana, we saw how close Keele were to taking that 3rd objective, and they weren't quite able to get it. And that momentum swings completely the opposite direction now. With Havana going to ICL, they come through, and off of the back of that, they take everything away from Keele. And it feels like Keele losing Havana has been that catalyst that's seen their downfall so far.
Yeah, we saw an incredible performance from Keele on the first 2 points of Samoa, and then they get their round 1 on Havana. And then for the rest of Havana, so that's half of Havana, all of Saravasa, all of King's Row, 2.5 maps have just been a dominant performance from the side of ICL.
Well, the Spitfires were able to fly over London on King's Row. Can they clean it up on Runasapi, or are we going to be heading to a 6th map in this series? We're just waiting on one player to be back quickly, but it shouldn't be too long. But, I mean, yeah, ICL, they've got the timeline here, and as well with the fact that they're setting the precedent of knowing that their first team is in the finals of Division 1 as well. So it could be 2 championships for the university from one split of USS.
Yeah, certainly. If you're... It's an amazing accomplishment if you're that university just to claim, I got Div 3, I got Div 1. You build a sort of, I guess, a dynasty for your university. And you might think, oh, well, you know, if we lose our Div 1 team, no, you wanna win, and you wanna push yourself even further.
Yeah, and the other thing it says is, you know, we won Div 3, maybe a couple of the players want to get up to Div 1 eventually, and it shows that there is the system there for ICL to be around for quite a while. If they're able to get to the finals in Div 1, they're able to do it once again. Creeper on the jetpack cat. We'll see if this is something that's kept or whether it's something to get out of spawn, but always blue.
Clearly this guy didn't see the bans.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nah, back onto that familiar comp for them. And Deterred, trying to prove to us that not a one trick, goes over to the M-Ray as well.
Alright, okay, yeah. And we do see actually, now that the Symmetra is back online, they're opting for the Symmetra Rhine comp on the side of Keele. Catalan taking the Cassidy as well.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to play into this Ramatra though. Obviously a well-known counter, but the TP into the backline is going to get them going here. Scar's trying to pin onto Creeper as well. Look where you're going. You can't be focused in too much. They're always blue, still trying to stay with this one, and most of the players on both sides have been found. Naomi's able to take down Sudanese man though, and it's going to be always blue that's the last man standing.
Oh yeah, a very sad death there for Creeper. I mean, you say, you know, like running the Rhine into the Ramatra is going to be hard. With the Symmetra, you don't need to run the Rhine into the Symmetra. You just say, I'm going to go kill someone else now, and then I'll run back and kill your BAP on the way over.
The question is though, how much are they going to be able to get from this Moira? Phoenix Flame, maybe back to a comfort pick, not being able to play that Kiriko. And now, as they look to stage forwards towards the high ground, we're going to listen in with Kill Krakens on the second fight.
That's yours, Lucio.
They got bar, I'm gonna go.
That's fine, that's fine. Go through middle, Reese. No, Reese.
We got Lucio, we're chill now, let's chill.
What to?
Face on a ring.
Look around.
It's Ram dies. Point.
Nice.
Push up point.
Nice, right. It's key that we all use that TP. If they take bot away, fine, but as long as we survive, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, a very comprehensive fight there for Kill Krakens, and you can see they're just not allowing Creeper any space. First the pin on the first fight, and then they have that TP in and forwards from Scars to just make sure that this Baptiste has nowhere to go.
And you hear it right at the end there, it's key that we all take that TP, no matter what, we all take that TP, and I think that's going to be the name of the game here as they fight around avoiding this ramp.
Yeah, eventually they are going to lose a couple here, and they do lose out this fight, but it's not for nothing. They were able to get to the forward spawn, and that means that they don't have to wait at this objective any longer for the rest of this match.
Yeah, Scarso just barely doesn't end up getting the forward spawn here, neither does Infest. So that means that Imperial will get a decent chunk of meters on the board now. Annihilation and Override on the clock on the board here for Imperial, though. A couple ults coming online for Keele Krakens as the bot is going to start to push forward now towards this first checkpoint.
Yeah, a lot of space been taken so far from Always Blue, and that beat in turn from Naomi, that cat and mouse that we saw earlier, but that means it's not there for this Override protocol from Deferred. Not able to find anything though, and shot out of the sky by Catalan. It's a great wall from Infest, that Symmetra wall, just making sure that they weren't able to capitalize off of the back of it. And 2 ults for 3, or 4 actually, a lot invested by Kill Krakens, but once again they stopped the momentum and they're able to take the bot back into their hands.
Yeah, but I mean, they'll get the forward spawn here. They've still got the lead, and all you've really got though is the Coalescence. Yeah, we've seen what Creeper can do with this window. Timmy Turner, of course, bloodthirsty support with the orbital ray. And we'll get a listen in here from Imperial as the bot reaches to the checkpoint.
Okay. Okay, just back a little bit, and we can swing this window later.
Cast low.
Yeah.
CBGB
They
behind
TP.
you. CBGB behind Bob. Help up.
Yeah, I'm trying. Someone.
Simon, yeah. Nice.
Nice.
I'm just back into higher. I'm walking all the way around.
Maybe dead.
Not going in their favor for Imperial Spitfire. Once again, Kill Krakens fighting back. Their backs are against the wall, but they're not letting it show at the moment. And this TP composition with the Reinhardt really driving nails into the Spitfire at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be their bread and butter. They did really well with the Rhine Sim Lucio on map 1. And then throughout each other map, then they've had a ban of one of those 3 characters. All 3 characters are on the table now, and it's 95 meters and counting here for Keele. So it looks to be their preferred comp and something that really is just working for them.
Yeah, they find Catalan early here to Spitfire, and they've not managed to let it get to 100 just yet. With Sunni's man switching back over to this Farah, it could be difficult for them to find too much control, but Catalan's going to aim to shoot him out of the sky next fight. Just maybe a little bit of a misplay there, not being able to stay with the rest of the team, Sunni's man, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to do too much. In sync once more are Naomi and Always Blue, and as this annihilation comes onto the table, so does the beat of Naomi, and it's used to make sure that the team stays alive, and that just means that Catalan can hold, and eventually it's going to take up to long enough before you can kill that tank and make sure that, you know, it's not even when I'm just using the auto aim. Oh, I can take you out of the sky as well soon, man. Nice shots there from Catalan.
Yeah, Catalan as Cassidy, I think definitely the right play over something like the Bastion that we saw in the past. Actually can challenge Sudanese man on the far, which is something we were begging for last map.
Override Protocol invested early from deferred, trying to get back onto them, but once again the kite is good, and that Symmetra wall's going to keep the rest of the team at bay. Just able to play around the corner here. Naomi takes out that Immortality field, and now they can press forwards with this TP into the backline. They're looking to wrap here. This barrage is going to do a lot of damage, and eventually they are able to clean up a couple of kills off the back of it. Naomi just about not getting Sudanese man down, and now going to be the attention of the rest of the team onto the Lucio, just about able to stay alive as well. Good job by that support line to make sure that Sudanese man stays in and is able to clean up the final 2 kills.
Yeah, definitely. If Sudanese man fell there, we could be looking at 100 meters plus here. But I think that the TP from Keele there, I think one of the reasons that they lost that fight, they're quite slow on the TP. It takes them a second for them all to get there. And what that means is that the backline of Imperial can kite and Sudanese man can get some damage in before they get to push.
Coalescence invested by Phoenix Flame, but Catalan's down to 1 and eventually falls to Sudanese man. The battle of this DPS line is raging, but Scars is able to find the Farah on the low ground for long enough. Now they don't have the TP to get away from this amplification matrix. Creeper's going to try and use it to the best of their ability, but no, the double up of Phoenix Flame and Naomi is able to send them packing. Once more, it's a bit of an issue here for the Spitfire. Always Blue's down so low, just about alive, and is going to stay alive for the moment. The rest of the team aren't going to press forwards too much from Keele. Both teams having lost significant numbers in that fight, going to have to wait to hit back forwards once again.
Yeah, Keele though, just testing the water, seeing if they could try and get that forward spawn, but not quite. Looking at almost 4 ults on the board now for Keele. The project, the override protocol is not quite ready for the turd as well, so this could be a quick engage as Scar is coming early with the shatter.
Yeah, it's a good shatter onto Always Blue as well, and just about able to stay alive through that. Pops that annihilation as well, but it's just too much damage from Keele, and once again they find themselves in control of the bot, in control of the objective, and surely they walk forwards once again and try and take down Deferred as well here.
Yeah, almost not quite getting that kill. They do have the override available though, so there should be a quick engage for them as the bot has now made it to the barricade.
Yeah, override protocol on the board. Same with the barrage. So both DPS ults in hand for the Spitfire, but High Noon is the first invested by Catalan, falls to the grenade of deterred. And now they're looking to capitalize off the back of this, and they haven't needed to use any ultimates for it either. It's a good economic fight win and something that was desperately needed for Imperial so far.
Yeah, not having to invest that override is huge for Imperial now. They have the window as well, and now they can actually start looking to get some meters on the barricade.
Yeah, finally. It feels like it's been a long time since the bot has been pushing the blue barricade, but eventually it does get there. With a minute left on the clock, it's going to look to be a snowball for the Spitfire if they're going to cling on to this 3-1 lead and clean out this series right here. But teleporter's gone. The override protocol invested once more. Finally not in sync with that Symmetra teleporter. Just about staying on the map is Always Blue. Finds Naomi as well. Rest of the team going down super low to that Nemesis form. And I mean, the trades are out here, but they're not going to be good enough, surely, for the Krakens. Nope. And eventually they do get going, and it's not too much of a task here for them. If they can get Sunni's man back quickly with this barrage, we're going to prep a listen in here and see how these two teams fare in what's going to be an overtime brawl.
Just barrage to Lucio.
Yeah, I'm so far. I'm so far.
I'm done.
Trying.
They're all one.
Almost have them all bit. It's unlucky.
That's my bad. I trolled that.
Yeah, you can hear them calling out the quietness in the comms in that final fight, and I was going to mention it if someone didn't. They did seem a little bit quiet going into that fight. The shatter lands onto deterred, takes them out, and then the rest of the team follows soon after. Good effort by Sunni's man to try and keep them in this, but at the end of the day, it is going to be 3-2, and they stay in it, do Keele Krakens after 3 in a row for Imperial. It goes back in their favor, and they're going to try and stay in this one right to the very end.
Yeah, so at the end they're pointing out how quiet they're being. I think on a map like Push as well, you get such an early lead. They were pushing 100 meters. It can be so demoralizing. You spend the whole time just pushing it back to the middle, and as long as they don't let that get down to them, you know, like you hear one of them go, "Oh yeah, my God." Anyway, next map. If they can just push this one to one side and not let it get to them, because a map like Push can be so demoralizing, then they should be alright moving into the next map.
Yeah, I have to say Catalan took over as well on this Cass. Left, right, and center, the kills were ringing out from the 6-shooter of Catalan, and I feel like there's potential there for that to be gone by the time the next map comes. Yeah, it feels like every highlight is for Catalan as well.
I mean, it's deserved an incredible performance for Catalan. Constantly finding the picks, doing the same things that we've seen from some of the Imperial Spitfire players, for example, just clutching up. You know, you're 1 or 2 down. Doesn't matter though, because Catalan's there, finds the picks.
Yeah, well, we will be heading to a map 6, but just before we go there, we're going to leave you on a cliffhanger. We're going to be heading to a quick break, but we will be right back once it ends with the finale of this Div 3 Grand Finals. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back with us for the USS Spring Division 3 Grand Finals, where Imperial Spitfire are still in the driver's seat. Keele Krakens able to get back into it, getting it back to 3-2, but Imperial Spitfire now the ones choosing maps and bans for the rest of the way. It's still going to be a difficult climb back for the Keele Krakens.
Yeah, certainly not completely off the table though. I mean, we're deep now. We're on map 6 of the series. All the bans now have been used. If I'm Keele Krakens, I've got my Rhine compact. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we've seen it go back and forth, and the Ramatra initially worked well for Imperial on Samoa on that first one as well. but you just got to be careful here. You can't be doing all that much in terms of looking forwards here for Keele. You can't think about map 7 before you've even got there. You've got to stay in it, and you've got to survive this 6th map. But yeah, still, you've got situations where you're not going to be worried quite as much for them, considering how deep we are in the series. But now that everything has unlocked for the Spitfire, they have choice of map over everything in our map pool, apart from stuff, of course, that we've already played.
Yeah, it'll be a real interesting one to see where they go. Obviously, they had quite a dominant performance on a few of these, like Cerebus, for example, and they're going to go for New Junk City.
I'm not surprised with this in the slightest. Suravasa felt like their best map so far. King's Row obviously offer the momentum of Suravasa as well, and the momentum of their defensive side going into capping where Keele Krakens had gotten to with 5.5 minutes on the clock, but I feel like New Junk City is probably the best bet that they have to close this out early, given how well Suravasa went for them.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you there. It's such a dominant performance on Cerebasa. If you're going to see them play the exact same way they did on Cerebasa, massive open map, and you just take the kaiju battle and let your DPS run around and kill each other, there's no better place to do it than New Junk City.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, we saw it work on Suravasa. New Junk City a little bit different. Some of some of those points are going to be played a little bit differently to the points on Suravasa, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter all that much. And the form book says that Imperial Spitfire close this out, but Keele Krakens, they'll definitely have something to say about that as we're waiting on their ban before we can get underway with this map.
Yeah, certainly. If your Keele Krakens, it's definitely not over just yet. And we heard from the listening from ICL, they seemed a little bit down. You know, the momentum being drawn to a halt from a push can certainly be what Keele Krakens might need moving into this next map. So, but yeah, like you said before, we take it one map at a time. This is it now. If Imperial Spitfire can close this out, as we're looking for the double Moira ban here. Definitely going to be an issue for Phoenix Flame.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it is still a Moira ban. It is a Moira ban from Imperial. That's what they decided to go with. Phoenix Flame on that Moira just causing a bit too much trouble for them. But the Ramatra out from Keele, not too surprising considering that the Malga's already been taken off the table, but surely this forces them back onto the Malga composition.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Ramatra and Malga are the two comps that we've seen Imperial Spitfire run throughout the series today, and they looked a lot stronger on the Malga vs Malga, and it'll just be interesting, obviously, with the Rhine on the table now, as it was for Cerebasa. Are we going to stick with the Rhine for Keele, or were they going to take the Malga comp? In terms of the Moira, I'm not really a fan of it. I think the only reason that Phoenix Flame played the Moira on the previous map is because of the Kiri ban.
Yeah, but the thing is, the only other question is what else is left there for them to ban? They don't really have much that they can take off the table anymore. It's such a standard composition, this Reinhardt comp. You can't take too much off of the table anymore. But as we go back in, we can see Runasapi taken by Keele Krakens, and they're going to have to build an almighty comeback to come back from 3-1 down in maps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we see the momentum built up there across Havana, Cerebasa, and King's Row, but this could be it. We like we said, the beginning of Havana was the turning point for ICL. You could argue that Runasapi was the stopping of that, and it could be the turning point back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if ICL can win 3 maps in a row, so can Keele. Both have made it through to the finals. Obviously, the first seed coming into our Division 3 playoffs was Keele, but sent to the lower bracket and forced to run back through it to get here. I do see a Malga there, probably for ICL, considering that's probably Sudanese man on that Farah as well. So, yeah, not a surprise. And Slice Gaming's back in for deferred.
I mean, honestly, I would have thought, instead of the Moira ban, shutting down Catalan's Cassidy. would allow Sudanese man to just run wild on the far.
Yeah, that's the other thing that you could have done. I mean, too little too late now. It's going to be a ban that they have open for map 7 if they need it, but their map pick to win it all in Division 3 is here. And as we head into the arena, boiling point is high, and I doubt they will have been expecting anything less than this Reinhardt comp for the Krakens. Trying to get forwards here. Both teams sort of evening themselves out at the moment. First throws from both sides is to just rotate round, play Ring-a-Ring-a-Rosie round this round here a little bit, but they have to be careful, back away from the TP. It's a good overrun by Always Blue, landing onto that Sudanese man, going down so low, but able to stay alive. Not for long though. Scars with the pin, pushes forwards, and the rest of the team are scattered now, trying to get away from it. Can't get away from it. Slice Gaming. Catalan takes down the tank of Always Blue, and I mean, Scars, that's a way to get yourself on the board and get some momentum going.
Spitfire not do their road safety at school? I mean, coming from like halfway across the map multiple times now, the ultimate crushing machine has barreled down and found their picks. It's you cannot die to that. Like time and again, we've seen Imperial Spitfire get caught up by that.
Well, thank you for requesting a pause with copy pasta for some reason instead of pressing P.
Yeah, if they brought fools, of course. The Reinhardt has to play in cosplay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, once again, the first pick of a fight, the same thing happened on Runasapi to try and get some momentum for Kill Krakens, was a pin by Scars, and the same thing happens here on New Junk City as well.
Yeah, my problem with it though is that like it's not like it's a close distance. Scars is traveling halfway across the point, and you're still getting pinned.
On a character that can fly as well.
Yeah, and like the Baptiste, for example, on Runasapi could jump. Yeah, the Fire can fly. Like, why? It's just very simple mistakes. You shouldn't be getting caught out by that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, surely you're able to tighten it up going into the rest of this match now. You've been warned twice. You've had 2 times that it's happened. You just got to step back up, get back into it, and here they go, trying to get back in. 50% already on the board for Kill Krakens, and overrun into the backline, pinned in, but Sudanese man is able to capitalize off the back of it. Not for long though. Creeper trying to be the hero, ends up going down to Scars, and Scars are starting to show for Imperial Spitfire. Interesting shatter, doesn't find anything, and the DPS are cleaning up for the Spitfire. Eventually, there's going to be no one left on the board for Keele. They're able to take the objective.
Just quite mistiming the jet fuel for Sudanese man there, but there's still have the wall on board for Keele. The both support ults and the High Noon are on the board as well, so they can engage quite quickly here with the TP on the wall potentially.
Yeah, it's TP'd High Noon as well. You're going to try and get away from it one side, going to be able to get back on the other, but looks like they're going to play quickly again. The barrage is there, and immediately Slice is able to slice up Scars, goes through and takes out the hammer with the blade. The rest of the team trying to stay alive, and there is the blade onto Catalan as well. Tries to stay alive with that High Noon, but nothing doing, and even though it started off good for Kill Krakens, now having to lick their wounds here.
Yeah, honestly, the blade from Slice Gaming though does feel like a bit of a waste. Now, Keele were already backing out and regrouping, and you only got the 1 pick from that. It means a quick regroup from Keele, and an early engage here from Creeper.
Yeah, early Kitsune rush, and once again, Sudanese man, just the amount of damage that this far has been able to do in close quarters is way too much for Keele to be able to handle. They have flipped the point, but how long is it going to be before it goes back the other way? Castellan can't stay alive to Always Blue, and even though it started off rough for Imperial Spitfire, looks like they're going to take this first point and try and claim this map and their map point and take Division 3.
Yeah, I mean, I know I said about getting the Cassidy ban off the table for Sudanese man, but it looks like he doesn't need it, honestly. Just still being able to pump in that same damage, and no one on the side of Kill Krakens is paying any attention to them.
Yeah, Sunni's man playing these corners so well, and this cage fight could be devastating from Always Blue. Depends who it's able to get in onto. They've already used the TP, so you know that they can't get away from it too quickly. Both DPS are here, pinned on though, and it means that the boot from Naomi is going to take out Always Blue. Not for lack of damage though. 2 down for the Krakens. They invest the beat as well. And Sunni's man is going to take that every single day of the week. Yes, you go down, but Infest is the only one left standing. And at the end of the day, it feels like a little bit of a misplay from Naomi trying to play the hero once more.
Yeah, you're already, what, 2 down at that point, and you're low, the rest of your team is low. You're beat right in front of a barrage, like a barrage-ready Pharah. At that point, just take the fight and come back next.
Yeah, cage fight's going to stop them from touching the objective as well. It is going to be met with a shatter straight onto the head of that tank, and eventually this cracks do start to show. Keele are going to take control of the objective. Just heading back now are Timmy Turner and Always Blue, looking to regroup with the rest of the team.
Yeah, but only the cage fight there for the Sim Wall, the Shatter, and Phoenix Flames Kitsune. 48% on the clock is not a bad trade here. You're looking to push in with the blade here, maybe waiting for a Kitsune blade clock.
Yeah, they come around the corner. Scar's a little bit isolated here. Has to take the TP to get back with the rest of them. Always Blue going in early as well, but Sunni's man finally falls. Blade from Slice Gaming not able to slice through the rest of the team, and Catalan and Naomi teaming up to take down the rest of the members of the Imperial Spitfire. Team kill rings out, and it's going to be one final touch for them. And they don't have any ultimates on the board either.
Yeah, devastating pick onto Sydney's man early off there means that Slice Gaming can find one, but there's no extra follow-up damage, and he stood on the middle of the point with no one around, and it just means an easy cleanup for Keele.
Creeper's going to be close to getting this Kitsune online before they can get the touch though, and Always Blue lands on Catalan, takes him down immediately. Yes, they try and play for that environmental once more, but this Kitsune rush is matched with a beat. It's still going to be difficult for them to take it, but Scars has been able to push them away from this objective. Now the Ray invested as well, and it feels like desperation from Timmy Turner, just backing away from the point, and it is going to be going to kill Krakens as they level up New Junk City 1-1.
As much as I understand, Scars is playing there to get the environmental kill onto Always Blue. Misses every time, but it doesn't matter really. Like it does enough damage, and you see Always Blue just keep slamming right onto where Infest can just TP out, or it just means that all 5 of Keele Krakens can just turn around and force everything out of Always Blue.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see that they put both support ults in for a lost cause there. Scars has the shatter as well, but Sunni's man's the first to fall and almost going off the edge of the map with Scars, just about able to stay up, but going to be the only one left standing for Kill Krakens. Does have the Symmetra wall to play with, does have this shatter if you really want to invest it, but surely it's just going to be a matter of time before the Reinhardt falls.
Yeah, a very clean fight win there for the side of Imperial Spitfire. The Scars though almost had it with the environmental kill, but wasn't quite enough. The cage fight coming online for Always Blue as well means that they can take a much earlier fight. Nothing really but the shatter as well for Keele means that you really want to go early here for Always Blue.
Yeah, they put in Kitsune and that Symmetra wall into that fight, but they don't find anything off the back of it, and that means that that's now going to be off the board for a long time. A second environmental kill there for Scars, but once again, the rest of the team crumbles around him when he goes in for that. The rest of the team isn't there to support now, and you've just got to hold this shield up as long as possible, trying to get aggressive now. But the TP in from Phoenix Flame to try and keep your Reinhardt alive is going to spell doom. Scars is still standing, but doesn't quite get that pin onto Sudanese man before falling.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like the win condition for most of these fights here for Keele is Scars getting the pin or Catalan. Catalan just popping off and killing 5. And for Imperial Spitfire, you see it, Always Blue just saying, yeah, go on, come and pin me off the map, that's fine. Sudanese man is just going to go kill your whole team.
Yeah, you have the hero plays out, but the blade is here and it's not going to be matched with a beat on the other side. Second kill for Slice Gaming, and once again the Krakens crumble. Now everyone off the board, the team kill bell rings out, and once again they find themselves in a good position. 2-1 up, and they only need one more objective on New Junk City to claim the crown.
Yeah, looking strong here if you're Imperial Spitfire. The hype and the adrenaline definitely pumping through on both teams. It looks like Imperial Spitfire are going to get there first. And it looks like they're better on the support ult economy as well. So they have a very stable position here coming into this fight.
Yeah, I worry for Keele here. The thing is, they're trying to do so much. That's a good pin, though. That's a good starter. That's a good opener. Timmy turned it down. The support is gone, and 1-for-1 trade there. Looks like they're trading efficiently. The rest of the team is going to be able to win out here, and Scar's just about staying alive. The barrage invested from Sudanese man. Not sure that that was necessary, but it is going to stall out the point capture a little bit longer.
Yeah, Sudanese man, you know, we've praised them this whole time for having that clutch potential, having the pick potential, but the barrage maybe wasn't the right time. You know, you've still got the whole point to clutch up.
Yeah, now you've got to play into a smaller sight line against a Reinhardt that has Shatter with no way of blocking it on your side. They decide to go around the corner and try and play forwards from here, but it seems like it's going to be inevitable that Scars hits this. And it is going to be only onto the Malga. The rest of the team stays alive, and the DPS wants more. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with Always Blue. You've got to deal with the rest of the team. They are able to stabilize here at the moment, and Infest does have this Symmetra wall to invest as well. It's Slice Gaming and Creeper, the last two on the point, and they've just about been able to stabilize here and keep the objective for their own Kill Krakens as they look to force it to a final point here and a final match in this best of 7.
Yeah, incredible comeback from the side of Kill Kraken's DPS there. It really did look like Sudanese man and Slice Gaming just had dead to rights.
Kathleen goes down early, but they don't touch. Slice Gaming just about not getting onto the point and goes down for his troubles as well. So we are going to go to a final point of New Junk City. And where it felt dominant for ICL on the previous one, now it feels dominant for Keele Krakens. Eventually they lose out this fight, but it doesn't matter. The last objective is the one that matters most now. And it looks like it's going to be a kickstart here for ICL as they get here first.
Pressure's definitely rising for ICL now. It's literally, it's all on the line. It's all this. Kill Krakens as well. They know they have to win this point. As Naomi now has the beat online. Catalan with the high noon as well. They're going to look to push forward, but Invest falls early.
Yeah, Infest, you can't be doing that this late in the game. You need to be able to clutch up, and once again, the DPS alongside Timmy Turner as well. And we've seen the clutch potential that this support line can have as well, finding these kills when they're really needed. And just Infest a bit of a misplay, trying to get a bit eager, and now it's going to tick for Imperial Spitfire with 3 ults on the board, almost 4.
Yeah, 40% and counting as well. That was such a free fight win, and if they rotate well, this could just mean the map. It's like Always Blue here, looking to get a really early cage.
Oh, Catalan, though, in the backline gets 2. Both supports down for Imperial Spitfire, and now they invest the beat, trying to get back forward. Sudanese man is doing his best, but the slam is there. They try and get back into it, though. Sudanese man, it's 1-for-1 on the point, 2-for-1, actually. The DPS are the only thing that's standing between Scars and death, and eventually the Scars does find the grave, and the question is, can they touch here?
Incredible re-engage there from Imperial Spitfire. Like, they use so many ults inside the Kill Krakens now. It's looking almost impossible. 99% now as the cage fight comes out.
Yeah, they are able to touch, but that cage fight on the teleporter, and they don't touch again. The second touch isn't there for Kill Krakens, and what a way to lose the series. A great job there from both teams of taking us to an incredible 6 maps, but once more, it's going to be the Spitfires that fly high as Imperial take out the win in Division 3.
Incredible, honestly. Like, especially on that last fight, the blade coming through from Slice Gaming and just Sudanese man being able to stay alive there. I really thought that was going to be the fight win, you know. We'll say, all right, let's come back. You've got the ults, but no, just such a dominant hold.
Yeah, absolutely, and they made sure to time it perfectly. Where it felt previously on the last point that maybe Sudanese man had put in the barrage a bit late and thrown away that ultimate, there they knew exactly what they were doing. Slice Gaming knew the terms and conditions and absolutely read the fine print and cleaved down Scars, the only thing left standing between victory and the Imperial Spitfire, and at the end of the day, they do win it out. But go to a quick look at how our series developed. Our best of 7 goes to 6, and it goes to the Imperial Spitfire. Of course, we started on Samoa, a clean 2-0 for the Krakens, and then Havana, it felt like, really was the turning point of this matchup. 3-2 to ICL after being snowballed on the first 2 objectives. They held the castle till the last, and then able to come back on their attacking side and eventually make it through to that golden box of glory. Suravasa, it felt like the momentum from Havana just carried over, and the same could be said of King's Row as well. Just about able to get through to the underworld were Keele Krakens, but at the end of the day, ICL were absolutely dominant on their attacking side, and they were able to get to where Keele Krakens were pushing with 5.5 minutes left on the clock. Then we headed to Runasapi, and Keele Krakens able to stabilize, able to dig their feet in, but eventually turfed from the ground, and on the pick of New Junk City is where they were able to shine. ICL winning it all out as we see some replays of how this matchup happened.
Well, straight away, Sudanese man on that did an incredible job. And Scars on the Mag. This is where we saw Scars. Honestly, we thought, going into it, was going to be most dominant on that Maga. Turned out to be the Reinhardt, though.
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to find the composition for them after the map bans, but it just felt like it was a little bit too little too late. They'd given the ground already. And, I mean, I feel like this entire series came back to what we're seeing right now with Havana.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you just always boo pummeling down, and Scar being so tunnel focused onto that tank, and it just means that the DPS line for Imperial Spitfire can just run through your entire team.
Yeah, they were given the space, and they absolutely punished being given it. Definitely. Slice Gaming, Sudanese man, and as well, deterred when he was in, especially on that Hanzo, was causing Keele a hell of a lot of problems. It felt like the DPS line was really what shone here for Imperial Spitfire as they managed to get the win.
Yeah, certainly. Well, that's not to discredit Crispy and Infest, especially like you saw here on King's Row. The May pick from Infest was huge in winning a lot of those fights.
Yeah, and they came back in off the back of Catalan as well. It feels like most of the highlights here on Runasapi were Catalans on that cast, but the rest of the team able to stand strong and take out this one. It felt like they were getting some momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, honestly though, that that Rhine pin from downtown and the same on New Junk City, as we'll see, just it doesn't happen. It should never happen.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it all came down to New Junk City, and Keele Krakens just weren't quite able to stay with the Spitfire. And at the end of the day, just about, you can see the 2 DPS of Imperial Spitfire clutching up, and we said the clutch potential about them before was absolutely monumental, but I mean, well done to Imperial Spitfire, winning out 4-2, and they are your Division 3 champions for USS Spring 2026.
Yeah, definitely a well-deserved win for them. Of course, Keele Krakens are number 2 in the grand finals here. Not to be disheartened. Incredible performance from them. They've made it as far as they did. They took a really close fight there in a lot of those maps, and they should be proud of how far they've come.
Yeah, absolutely. But for us here today, it is going to be wrapping up as we head towards... actually, we do have an interview. I didn't know whether we would have one or not, but we do, as we're working the night shift here, and we're going to keep you just a little bit longer to get an interview with one of our players, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back with us for USS Spring Division 3 Grand Finals. We've just seen Imperial Spitfire beat out Keele Krakens, and we've got an interview with not just one, but 2 of their players, Sudanese Man and Slice Gaming. Welcome in with us.
Yes, thank you for hosting this tournament. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting on a great show for us today. And first question for you guys is, you started out on Samoa, your map pick didn't go in your favor, but you guys didn't seem deterred as you went on throughout the series. How easy was it for you to keep your heads up high and, realize, we're still in this?
I think it's the fact that we have a lot of cards that we can play. We're definitely not a one trick team by any means. Yes, it's true that we did pick Sanoa and we lost on it, but also we started to see things that started to work out. I think we started on Reaper Genji, and then we swapped over to Slice on Reaper and me on Pharah, and I just had that feeling I was getting a lot of value on the Pharah. So slowly but surely, we started to figure things out. I think that makes it pretty easy to stay confident because we know that it's not all that we have to show. There's much more to it than that.
Yeah, certainly, and while you did obviously fall on Samoa, we saw then the momentum start to build up. Obviously, you clutched out Saravasa beautifully, and how would you say the sort of vibes were for the team going map after map after clutching Saravasa, building up the momentum then for map 3 and 4 and so on?
Slice, you got this one?
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I didn't play for Arna, obviously, but I was there. Everyone was like quite happy. I mean, shout out to Deta as well. Like, he went insane with his Hanzo. Like, I think that was really the X factor in that map. But yeah, it was great. We were pretty confident after 3 maps, obviously, as you would be. But we obviously knew the enemy team was quite good. Like, we were losing fights, and they played pretty well. So we have to keep our heads in the game and not get too focused on the wins, obviously.
Yeah, and looking at your opponents here, what was your sort of strategies, or did you have anything sort of in mind going against this team?
Well, we knew going into the match because we watched some of the lower bracket final that they like to play brawl comps with Sim. But it really, we also knew that no matter what we think, none of it actually matters until the game starts because we haven't played them. And the team that we're playing against, they're so good at just throwing you off. I mean, that Runa Sarpi, it was just so confusing. We have no idea what they're going to do. Their sim TPs are pretty annoying, just constantly flipping the map. And so they're very good at that, like kind of just throwing us off. But I think especially in that last map, New Junk City, when we don't let them fight on their terms, when we fight on our own terms, we showed that we win almost every time. So yeah, it's a very good team though. Like, the way they throw you off with the sim TPs is just so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, the crown does belong to you guys after winning out on New Junk City. How does it feel to be Division 3 champions?
Slice, you got this?
Good. I mean, we obviously were confident, but we weren't sure. I mean, these guys are great. Personally, the heroes I play, I'm not very good into the kind of the sim TP comps. Like, it's just something I never really played against. It's not something you run into ranked on a daily basis. So like, it was interesting to play against. I learned a lot, had to adapt a lot, and yeah, I mean, we're feeling great after that.
I also just want to say, like, I wasn't on the team until the very end of the split, or like the middle of the split. But Creeper actually told me that the team that was in the Div 4 Grand Final beat us at the start of the year. So I think, especially for the team as a whole, the people that have been playing all year, this is a lot to celebrate for them, because going from losing against a Div 4 like Grand Finalist, I mean, I'm sure they're a good team, of course, no shade to that team, but then now winning Div 3, it's got to be a great feeling. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Onwards and upwards for the Spitfire. But just before you go, is there anyone you'd like to shout out before you go and celebrate your victory?
I guess, well, shout out to everyone on the team. I mean, shout out to Slice for that big clutch at the end of the game. Shout out to Deta for clicking every head on Hanzo. Shout out to Blue for playing every hero that exists in this damn game. Shout out to MS for playing really well on Juno for his first time on the team as well. And shout out to Creeper for being Thanos on Bappe and Kiri. I'd love to shout out all the other players that played along the way, but it's quite a long list, so shout out to them. And one final shout out to Power for helping us quite a bit with our VOD reviews and everything else throughout the season.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll let you celebrate your win with the rest of your team. And as we look forwards, we will look back and give some credit to the people that have brought you this stream today. Obviously, you see me and Lagalef on the stream, but the rest of the guys need some love as well. Producers, Luau and Isaac. Replays were brought to you by Tangerine, and I mean, an incredible job from everyone all round. Observer as well, KPJ, and of course you've had me and Lagalef on the cast. Lagalef, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Well, obviously just well done to both teams, but yeah, just an incredible shout out to Isaac and Tangerine. They've done an amazing job with the replays and with the listenings today. It's made the stream so much more fun, and I just hope that everyone had an amazing viewing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, stick around with us because we will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the Division 2 Grand Finals, and then, of course, on Tuesday as well, it's the big one, Division 1. If you're a fan of ICL, you might want to stick around for that one as they're going to face Oxford in the final, but make sure you're tuning in to us for those two. But for now, we're going to love you and leave you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.